Good day, teachers. Welcome once more to the lesson on 3D objects for grade 4. Now, when you introduce this topic or this concept to the grade 4s, make sure that you have your manipulatives ready. As you can see, there are 3D objects, the cubes. Make sure your learners you must have enough. They can be working on them in groups, or they can be working on them in pairs. If you have more than enough, make sure if every learner has his or has a 3D object so that they can be able to touch them, they can be able to play around with them, they can be able to manipulate them. For example, today in this lesson, we want to make sure that our learners can identify the shapes of these faces. Make sure your learners have got these 3D objects with them. They can see and relate the shape of each of these faces of these 3D objects. Like if you look at a cube, it has got square faces. But if you look at a cylinder has got these circular faces. So a learner should be able to identify that this is a circle, this is a circle. Then the tricky part becomes when you look at this circular face. Now, the most important thing about manipulatives is that if you have got a 3D object like this, yes, learners will be able to identify that this is a circle. They'll be able to identify that this is a circle, but they'll have problems with this circular face. So you need to have your manipulatives ready so that you can open it up like this. And once it's opened, your learners are able now to identify that this is a rectangle. So in other words, a cylinder is made up of two circles and a rectangle that has been rolled up. This will make your learners identify these 3D objects and are able to manipulate them and are able to use them. The other ones are the rectangular prisms. So make sure all these are there. As you describe each of these properties, the shapes of the faces, whether they are curved or flat, have the manipulatives ready and make sure your learners are practicing with a real object. Once you have done that, then you can move on to represent your 3D objects in the form of pictures, so that your learners can be able to relate the real object to its representation, which is a pictorial. They are able to relate each 3D object like this one, the cylinder, they are able to relate it to its picture. So that once they see them in their books, they already have the image of the real object. Thank you, teachers.